Hello everybody. Today what I'm going to be working on is building a permanent hog yard. We currently have them in electric netting to move them around this part of the property where we keep all the animals. But for where we live, electric netting it's not a good option. I've got all the materials I think I need to build this hog yard. This is just going to be what we start with. Over the years I plan to expand and make it bigger. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a technique that I have for putting fencing in that works well for us here. The dirt around here is filled with rock, basically all different sizes of river rocks. So what I'm going to be doing is using rebar. I'm going to show you how I do that. I've done it in a previous video for a fence I did around our garden. Let's go ahead and get things unloaded, and then I'm going to show you how I build it. So initially this yard is 16 feet wide by 32 feet long. These are 30-inch tall hog panels that I got at Tractor Supply. This is 1/2-inch rebar. And what I do is I'll take a piece of rebar and I take my cutoff wheel and I cut all of the rebar posts I'm going to use at about a 45. So that way these posts have a point on them. So what happens then is I will take my post with a post hole slammer, or I've got a small sledgehammer, and I can now drive that post in through this dirt. And most of the time, even if there's some rock, that rebar post is going to find a way down through there if I slam it hard enough, and it's not going to get hung up like a T-post. I will also come back through and put one strand of hot wire along the bottom, and we'll try to keep a charge on it. One, it'll keep the pigs from being tempted to try to lift up on the fence panels and try to get out. And two, when we have piglets again, it's going to train them to hot wire, just in case we ever go back to using any type of electric netting. That's kind of what I'm shooting for at all these posts. It weaves in here and it comes back out here towards the top. So I hope that I'm not the only one that this happens to. Without fail, every time I come to work on a project, there will be one thing that I forget and have to walk all the way back down to the house to. Our house is probably 100 yards down the road, but I forgot my clamp. Well, I wasn't able to time-lapse it like I had hoped because my GoPro started to die, but I've got most of it done. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to put one more panel up. I'm going to leave this one down because tomorrow we're going to get some feed out and get the hogs to follow us, and we're going to get them in here, quickly put up that last panel and close them in. Once I get a fence panel up, I'll show you how I get these rebar posts in. So I'll slide it through the top first because that's where I want the end of my post to be. And we're going to take the pointed end. Basically, you want to get it right above whichever part of the fence you want to weave it back through. And you're going to kind of pry against it, just like that. And once you get it over, you're going to start to try to push down as you pry. See? There you have it. That post went through. And then now we'll just start driving it into the dirt. Okay, so if you try this, what you want to make sure of when you're hitting this is don't hit this rebar below this top piece of hog panel, because you want it to be above it to kind of grip on it right there and lock in. are on day number 2 of the new hog yard project. Yeah, awesome. I just successfully moved all 4 over to the new yard. They just came out of that yard right there. So what I've used is these 24-inch cable ties. They're rated at 175 pounds, and they're great with how thick they are, that I can just pull and pull and pull and bring these corners together and make them really strong. I've done that everywhere that the fence meets. This is a post that I messed up on, so I just tried to help it there. But everywhere that it meets, pulled it together as tight as I can. So I'm going to come around and cut these tails off. And then the next thing I'm going to do is run a hot wire. But they're happy. Got them some water. They do have this little house over here. It needs some love, but we're going to move that in there too. All right, I got some help finally to try to finish this fence up. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right.
What are
You think they're going to get out, or are they going to finally stay in?
Stay in.
Okay, that's good. Let's get going. All right, so the kids helped me put these little 1x2s up around the yard. And we just went ahead and zip tied them too. Now we're going to take these 2-inch screws.
Wait.
Thank you, Juliet. We're going to take these 2-inch screws. We're going to drive them right about where I feel like I want to make sure the pigs are going to hit the wires.
Look at that big boy. Hey, you see me? Yeah. You see me with the boy?
All right,
Kind of hard.
hold it straight.
So
Push. Push.
Can I go over here?
Stop. How's that feel?
That feels great.
Yep. All right, let's go.
Watch out. That was good. Right there? There it is.
There it is. It's officially done. I've got all my posts up. I've got the wire ran. Let's go ahead and see how the fence tests. See how hot it is. All right. That is maxed out at 8. I am so happy. We already had, they're still getting used to each other. We already had one pig shock herself, so it's working good. I'm so happy with the way this came out. Thank you guys for joining us again.